Prince Andrew arrested, what he's charged with, Epstein and Sarah Ferguson explained. Today, we're breaking down the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the man most of us still know as Prince Andrew. We'll cover what he's been arrested for, how this ties back to Jeffrey Epstein, why he lost his royal titles, and where his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson fits into all of this. Now, this isn't just royal gossip. It's about power, accountability, and whether the law actually applies to the people at the very top. So let's get into it. Who is Andrew Mountbatten Windsor? Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is the second son of the late Queen Elizabeth II and the younger brother of King Charles III. For decades he was known as Prince Andrew, Duke of York, a working royal who represented the monarchy at events and on overseas trade missions. From 2001 to 2011, he served as the UK's Special Representative for International Trade and Investment, essentially a royal trade envoy who promoted British business abroad and had access to sensitive commercial and diplomatic information. The official role and the access that came with it is exactly what is now under criminal scrutiny. His public image started collapsing long before this arrest, though. Ties to Jeffrey Epstein, a disastrous BBC interview in 2019, and a civil sexual assault lawsuit in the US all chipped away at his standing even before King Charles stepped in. Now, why was he arrested? On February 19th, 2026, his 66th birthday, Andrew was arrested at Wood Farm on King Charles' Sandringham estate in Norfolk. Police took him into custody on suspicion of misconduct in public office, and that's linked to his time as the trade envoy and his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Thames Valley Police had already confirmed that they were investigating allegations that Andrew shared confidential information with Epstein while holding that official role. Now, the complaint that triggered this investigation came from the anti-monarchy campaign group Republic, which has pointed to emails suggesting that he sent Epstein confidential documents related to government-leaked trade work. Now, at the same time as the arrest at Sandringham, officers were also searching his former home near Windsor. Later that day, he was released but remains under investigation, which means he's not charged yet, but still subject while police continue to review the evidence. Now, the Epstein connection. Andrew's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein has been controversial for years. Epstein was a financier and convicted sex offender whose network reached into politics, business, and royalty long before he died in a New York jail in 2019. Virginia Giuffre has alleged that Epstein trafficked her to Andrew when she was 17, and she sued Andrew in U.S. civil court. Andrew has denied the allegations, but in 2022, he reached an out-of-court settlement with Giuffre without admitting liability, which allowed the case to be dropped. The settlement did not end the scrutiny, though. The U.S. Epstein files released in batches by the Department of Justice have continued to reveal emails, photos, and documents placing Andrew close to Epstein, and now include material suggesting possible exchange of information tied to his official role. British police forces began reviewing these documents in early 2026, and multiple forces, including Thames Valley and others, have acknowledged looking at Epstein-related material involving Andrew. All of that set up the stage for the misconduct in public office investigation and the arrest that we're seeing now. So how did he lose his titles? Andrew's fall from grace has been a long slide, not just a single moment. After his infamous 2019 BBC interview, he stepped back from his public duties and was widely criticized for showing little empathy for Epstein's victims. In January 2022, Queen Elizabeth removed his military titles and his royal patronages, and he stopped using his Royal Highness in an official capacity. Then, following new disclosures in the Epstein files and mounting public pressure, King Charles went further and stripped him of his remaining royal titles in October of 2025, leaving him officially as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. By the time he was arrested in 2026, he was no longer a working royal and had been forced to leave his longtime residence, the Royal Lodge, moving instead to the smaller home on Sandringham Estate. King Charles has issued a statement saying that law enforcement has royal family's full and wholehearted support and cooperation in the investigation, emphasizing the process should be fair, full, and proper. So where does Sarah Ferguson fit in? Now, let's talk about Sarah Ferguson, or Fergie, Andrew's ex-wife. They divorced in the 1990s, but they remained unusually close, even living together at times, presenting a united front around their daughters, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. Sarah Ferguson's own name appears in the Epstein-related documents. Emails show that Epstein helped her with her debts, and she publicly called that association a gigantic error of judgment, while insisting that she did nothing criminal. More recent reporting has highlighted emails in which she used affectionate language towards Epstein and allegedly made inappropriate comments involving her family, again raising questions about how deeply enmeshed she was in his circle. Now, at the same time, several of her companies in the UK are winding down, drawing extra attention to her finances, just as Andrew's legal problems escalate. Now, in public, Ferguson has often defended Andrew and emphasized her loyalty to both him and their family. Her continued support is controversial, especially among critics who argue that both Andrew and those who enabled or normalized his connection should face serious scrutiny. Now, why does this matter? This case is about more than one disgraced royal. It raises a basic question. If a senior member of the royal family used public office to benefit a convicted sex offender, what does accountability look like in a constitutional monarchy? If police ultimately charge Andrew, it will be the first time in modern history that a royal of his rank faces criminal proceedings of this kind in the UK. Even if he's never charged, the investigation alone exposes how deeply Epstein's network reached into the British establishment and how long institutions look the other way. So I want to hear from you. Do you think Andrew will actually face charges? Or will this end quietly once the headlines move on? Now, should the monarchy survive scandals like this? Or is it proof that an inherited power is fundamentally incompatible with real accountability? So drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you found this breakdown useful, hit like, subscribe, and share it so more people can see what's really going on behind the palace walls.